Hello, welcome to another one of my videos. So in this series of videos I'm going to show you how to produce a canvas with multi-layer stencil. So my method may not be the correct method or the method that most people use, but it's just the way I do it. I think it's a bit of an old school way, but yeah, it works for me. So I'll run you through the kit I'm going to be using. So obviously we have the canvas right there, overhead projector with acetate to print onto using a printer which I use for my work. We have the card there at the bottom that I'll be basically using the overhead projector to project the image onto the card, which is stuck to a wall. Then I'll draw using pencil or pen the area that I want to cut out of the stencil. Then we've got some masking tape, we've got the blade itself, then we've got the paint. The background is going to be black. Then I'm going to be using these three colours here as part of the background, a very kind of like misty fade, and then these three blues are going to be the stencil itself to make the image. Right, so we're going to be using the dark blue as the main kind of area of the stencil. Then we're going to be using the medium blue as detail, and then we use the lighter blue as the finer detail to kind of give the stencil some depth and make it look pretty funky, hopefully. So this is the image I am going to be making into a multi-layer stencil. Basically what I need to do with this image is change it to black and white, and then also reduce the saturation. Basically when you print onto paper, the paper absorbs some of the ink, so when you print onto acetate, the acetate doesn't absorb ink, so you want to reduce the saturation so you don't get blotchy ink on the acetate. So what we do now is we right click on the image, go to open with, and then I will put it in Sketchbook. Just for your reference, I'm using Windows 10, so it has the Sketchbook app on it. So once it is in here, we go up on the top bar and we go to the image with three circles which says color adjustment, and then I click on HSL, which stands for hue, saturation and lightness. So I'll click on there. I don't worry about the hue, I leave that as it is on 0. Then with saturation I move all the way to the left, which is -100, and you will notice the image has turned to black and white. And then on the lightness I am going to move this to the right, but I'm going to move it to approximately 10, I reckon. 10 should do it. Right, I'll hit done, and then I will save the image. So I'll save it into the folder sketch 002. I actually have sketch 001 where I actually had a little trial run. So that is saved. I'll go back to the folder and I'll find sketch 002. I'll open that up and it'll be an image there. So now what I want to do is I'll open it with paint this time, and as you can see it is there. Then I'll hit resize, and I reckon it needs to be changed to about 25% of the size it is there. And then in the bottom right hand corner there's a little tab so you can open up the window, probably about there somewhere. Then I will go to file, print preview, and that is what it will look like on an A4 piece of paper. What I'll do now is I will print the image onto paper first, so I can use that as a reference when I'm actually marking out the stencil on the card, and then I will print the image onto acetate, and I'll show you a little method on how to do that. So this is the method I use for sticking the acetate to a piece of paper. you need to stick the acetate to the paper because the printer rollers will not draw the acetate into the printer. So there's two ways of doing it. The better way is to use Pritt stick and run the Pritt stick along the leading edge and then stick the acetate to the A4 paper. But because I can't find any Pritt stick, I will have to use the good old masking tape trick. So I basically double over some masking tape, I stick it to the leading edge like I would with the Pritt stick, do one on each corner as a minimum, maybe do a piece in the middle if you're worried about the acetate getting jammed in the printer, which isn't a good idea. I've done it a few times. So there you go, 2 bits of masking tape on the leading edge corners of the paper, and then I get the clean acetate, and there you go, it's all lined up, matched up, ready to go in the printer to print the image on. Same as printing the reference image that I'll use later on when I'm actually marking out the stencil on the card. I put the leading edge of the acetate and paper into the printer, Control P on the image in paint, and then print, and then it should, if all goes well, go through the printer and you'll have the image printed onto the acetate. So there we go. Slightly blotchy, which I was expecting, but you could imagine if we didn't change the lightness, then it would be really, really blotchy and you probably wouldn't be able to make out the main features of the image. So there you go. Hope you liked part 1 of this tutorial on how to make a multi-layer stencil. Make sure you subscribe so you catch the next videos and you don't miss how I finish this stencil off. So anyway, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.